What's happening, everybody? It is Friday, August 7th, 2026. I'm here at the beautiful west side of Balboa Park. I was over on the east side last night walking around the museums and stuff over there. Now I'm on the other side of the park here where the grassy fields are and where you can just kind of like hang out and relax and enjoy the sounds of the city and nature combining. Why am I here? Well, it's to obviously discuss a Stephen King book. This is where I come now when I want to talk about Stephen King and any other books I've read. This is the collection 4 Past Midnight. Just finished it last night, and I've got some things to say about it, and I hope that you're interested in hearing what they are. So Stephen King books kind of come in 3 different styles, right? There's the main novels, one big story told over, several hundred pages. That's your Carries and your Salem's Lot and It and The Stand, right? Then you've got the short story collections like Night Shift and Skeleton Crew, which are anywhere from 5 to 10 pages to maybe 30 or 40. So not huge, big, long affairs, but just short enough to kind of get your mind thinking. These are usually published. They were normally published first in like magazines or newspapers or whatever, and then transferred over to book. And then you've got these novella collections. So this is the second novella collection he did. The first one was Different Seasons, that had Stand By Me, Apt Pupil, The Breathing Method, and Shawshank Redemption. This is the second one, 4 Past Midnight. Now I don't know why exactly these are stories that are past midnight. Maybe because a lot of them have to do with like having dreams or sleeping. I don't know. But either way, the 4 stories in this one are The Langoliers, the Sun God, or no, sorry, the Sun Dog, Secret Window, Secret Garden, and what was the third one? Oh, The Library Policeman. That's right. In fact, I even brought up The Library Policeman in a recent video. All right. So anyway, this is again 4 novellas collected into one. And like I said, they're all kind of thematically connected. Different Seasons, that was all about stories that took place in each of the different seasons: winter, summer, spring, and fall. This one, again, is just kind of, they're not necessarily connected in that same way, but they are all kind of about people sleeping and having dreams, and how these dreams kind of play into their daily lives. And like in the case of the Langoliers, people who fell asleep on the airplane, they were the only ones who survived the phenomenon that happened on there. In Secret Garden, Secret Window, the main character continually falls into these deep sleeps, and he's very tired and he doesn't know why. And then when he wakes up, typically something horrible has happened and he has no idea who did the horrible thing. In The Library Policeman, this man keeps having dreams of a terrible thing that happened to him as a child. He doesn't want to remember it, and so he has to eventually figure that out in order to kind of defeat the evil that is trying to get him. And in The Sun Dog, the main character is this young boy, 15 years old, who keeps having dreams about this dog trying to eat him, and he has to figure out why that's important in order to not have a dog actually eat him. That's the connection, sleeping and dreaming. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the plots on these. I don't want to spoil anything, especially if you want to read them. But suffice to say, each one. So I read this very quickly. This is like well over, just about 1,000 pages, like 933 pages. Normally that would take me quite some time, right? Because you want to, things can get dry and complicated. Like Tommyknockers had, I think, less pages than this, and that took me almost a month to read because it was kind of boring. 4 Past Midnight, I was done with this in less than a week. I loved reading this book. I think because they were novellas, the kind of action just never stops. It wasn't until I got to the last story, which was The Sundog, that I really kind of it started to feel a little bit like a slog, and that's just because I didn't really like any of the characters in that story, and the overall plot of it just wasn't that interesting. So just quickly to go over, let's just go over the plots of each one. Langoliers, a group of people on an airplane flying across the country from LA to Boston, somewhere around Colorado. Like 8 of them fall asleep, and when they wake up, the whole plane is deserted, and all that's left are these 8 people. Thankfully, one of them is a pilot, and he knows how to fly the plane, and they have to basically fly back to Boston, continue the course, and try to figure out what happened. But when they get to the airport, everybody there is gone too, so they don't know what's going on. And that's how the story, that's kind of to whet your appetite on that. What happened to all these people, and is there any way for them to get back to a place where there are people? That's kind of what the gist of it is. Secret Window, Secret Garden. This is about a writer who has recently left his wife because she was cheating on him, and it kind of is he moves off to this cabin out in the middle of the main woods, and a guy from the South ends up on his porch saying that he stole his story idea. Like, he found a story in a magazine that matched his exactly, and so he's claiming plagiarism. And of course the writer's like, I didn't plagiarize anything. And then as he looks into the story and the guy who wrote it, he starts to find these weird parallels between himself and that man, and he can't quite put his finger on just what exactly those parallels are. You probably figured it out already. The third story is The Library Policeman, about I think he's like an insurance salesman or an insurance adjuster, and he is tasked with writing a speech. He's not a very good speech writer, so his secretary tells him to go to the library, get some books on speech writing and poetry, and insert those kind of into his speech to kind of spice things up. He ends up going to the library. It's run by this really creepy old lady. She gives him these 2 books. He inserts some things for those books into his. They go over really well, and he's told, you have 1 week to return the books. So he kind of loses track of time, and he's like, oh, let me go return them. And then when he goes to look for them, realizes that they're gone, realizes that he accidentally sent them to go out with his recycling, and they have been shredded up at a recycling plant. Now he doesn't know what to do. Turns out the woman at the library is very, very particular about getting her books returned, and so she sicks the library policeman on him, who is this imposing, evil dude, and he has to figure out how to find new copies of this book, but also who this woman and the library policeman actually are, because, spoiler, nobody else knows who these people are, because the library he went to doesn't exist. He like went into like a weird alternate dimension library, and so yeah, that might be my favorite one of the whole 4. And then finally, in The Sundog, a 15-year-old boy on his birthday receives a Polaroid camera. He starts taking pictures with it, but he soon realizes that whatever he takes a picture of doesn't show up in the picture. Instead, it's a picture of this dog, and it's like standing in front of a picket fence. Doesn't know where this dog is, doesn't know where this fence is, but as he continues to take pictures with it, it looks like the dog is getting closer and closer. So he brings the camera to the town kind of fixer, weirdo, also a bookie, and he ends up taking the camera from the kid and kind of steals it from him without the kid knowing. They think they smash it up because the kid's scared of the camera. He ends up taking it, and then the camera starts to kind of possess this guy. He keeps trying to sell it off to different eccentrics, but they all think that it's either fake or that it's too evil to be part of their weird occult collections. So things escalate from there. Again, this one was not my favorite out of the bunch. I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it really went anywhere. The only thing about it is that it takes place in Castle Rock, which is a very famous city in Stephen King lore, and it was the second to last story to be set in Castle Rock, because so it's not the next novel I'm reading, but the next novel is called Needful Things, and that wraps up the whole Castle Rock thing. And this story, The Sundog, is a bridge between The Dark Half, which takes place in Castle Rock, and Needful Things, which also takes place in Castle Rock. So I think I said quite a bit there. Okay, I take a break. So that was the kind of the gist of each story. If it sounded interesting to you, I highly recommend seeking out 4 Past Midnight. As far as my rating goes, you remember we rate on a scale of S is the greatest, F is the worst. It's like being in school but with an extra grade letter. So on this, I'm giving 4 Past Midnight a rating of A. This is an excellent book, an excellent collection of novellas. Stephen King knocked it out of the park with these. They were engrossing. They were super fun to read. Even The Sundog, which I didn't necessarily enjoy as much, was still great. It was still paced well enough that by the end of it, I did want to get through those last like 20 pages to find out what happens to everybody involved. The old man, or the weird bookie, the kid, and then the kid's dad also gets involved in the whole thing too. So yeah, just an excellent set of stories. Really nice to get through after how much I disliked the Tommyknockers, which, by the way, I watched that mini-series based on the Tommyknockers. I watched that today while I was working, and that was a terrible mini-series. Oh my god. Like, watching the mini-series, I was like, huh, the book's actually pretty good. Because this mini-series was so bad. Just really poorly written. The acting was okay, but they like truncated the story way too much, and did things just didn't make sense. They kind of made some things from the book make a little bit more sense, but other things, because they had to cut so much out, other things just didn't make sense. Neither here nor there. We're talking about 4 Past Midnight. We're not talking about Tommyknockers anymore. Yeah, so sorry, got an itch. So yeah, go to the bookstore right now. Go get 4 Past Midnight. I do not think you will be disappointed. And if you are, I'm sorry. What? You shouldn't have listened to me. No, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. In fact, if you can get through the first, like I said, even if I didn't like Sundog the most, so if you just read the first 3, I think you'll be just fine. If you just read The Library Policeman, if you can just find The Library Policeman by itself somewhere, read that. It's the best out of the 3. Okay, so if I'm going to rate each of the 4, number 1, Library Policeman. Number 2, Langoliers. Number 3, Secret Garden, Secret Window, or Secret Window, Secret Garden. And then number 4, the Sundog. Is that it? I think I talked enough about 4 Past Midnight. I don't really have anything to well, I guess we can talk about the adaptations. There have been 2 adaptations out of this. The Langoliers was also made into a mini-series in the 90s. So following the success of it, ABC made more Stephen King books into miniseries. So next was Tommyknockers, which was terrible. And then next was The Langoliers. I remember I watched this on VHS tape a long time ago. One of the first things I rented from Hollywood Video when I started working there. And I remember it had one of the characters in Langoliers is this like banker who or like a hedge fund manager. So he's some kind of financial guy. And in the book, he's trying to go to Boston to kind of close this deal. He got his company to buy all these like junk bonds, and he thought it was going to be a great idea, but it wasn't. It was actually a terrible idea, and he lost him a bunch of money. So he was going to go there to kind of like plead for his job or something like that. Anyway, because everybody disappears, and they're like, well, we can't really go to Boston, like, so I misspoke. They don't go to Boston. They go to Maine. They fly the airplane to Maine, to Bangor, and this really pisses off the guy. And so, what in the miniseries, this creepy banker guy is played by Bronson Pinchot, who was Balky in the sitcom Perfect Strangers, which it was a big hit in the 80s on ABC. But because of that, he played this kind of doofusy character in Perfect Strangers. When he would do another project, he would try to be like a badass, like, I'm a tough guy and I'm crazy. And because I think he wanted to get out of that, like, not get typecast as the Balky character. But it just didn't work. It was way over the top in Langoliers. Aside from that, it's been about 25 years since I've seen it, so I'm going to rewatch it just to kind of see how bad it was. It also had really bad special effects. There's these little creatures in it, in the Langoliers, and so, you know, that shouldn't have spoiled anything, but, you know, there's little creatures, and the special effects on those in the early 90s when they made this miniseries were not that great. And then the other adaptation was for Secret Window, Secret Garden, which was made into a film starring Johnny Depp and John Turturro. Johnny Depp is the writer. John Turturro is the crazy guy who says that the writer stole his story. That movie was released in the mid-2000s. I believe David Koepp wrote and directed it. That's an okay movie. The movie and the novella, the story, have different endings. I'm trying to think which one I liked better. I think I liked the movie's ending better. It was a little more like mind-bendy. Like the big twist is the same in both the movie and the story, but the way it's resolved, the resolution and the fate of all the characters is different between the movie and the novella. So, something's going on over there. Somebody's having fun. I don't know if you heard that. All right, someone's having a good time. Yeah, so those are the adaptations. Library Policeman, not been adapted, and Sundog has not been adapted as well. They probably easily could. Sundog might not be that interesting. That would be a good, like, Twilight Zone episode. Library Policeman could probably be a full movie if they ever wanted to make it, but it's got some really horrific things in it. In regards to, like, sexual abuse, and so it might be tough to watch on screen if it was ever adapted. So my assumption is that's probably why they would not want to adapt it, because it is pretty rough. Anyway, so yeah, hope you got something out of this. I am gonna go and eat dinner with Enid and Kelly. They are waiting for me to come back very graciously. They're having a good time. They're just hanging out on a different bench about 1,000 feet that way. Yeah, that's it. This was today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna have another one tomorrow, and another one after that, and after that, and after that, because this is a daily vlog channel. Once again, Stephen King's 4 Past Midnight, an excellent book, A-tier rating. Go read this. It's phenomenal. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.